this a minute ago. We were asked three administrations ago by the city to undertake this project. Part of the packet John distributed, Mr. Lynch, shows a prior approved version of a development on the site from, I think, 2006, about that. That particular developer withdrew for, whatever, it's 10 years ago, I don't know what the reason was. We were asked then to do this. A lot of the model that we have here was driven by the fact that this is really an effort to improve the streetscape. It's an effort to add people with a long-term interest to the neighborhood. It's not part of our application to you, but it was part of our presentation to the city council, and it came up in passing in the zoning board. It's our intent that these townhouses be sold with a deed restriction for owner occupancy only. There'll have to be some plausible and rational hardship provisions in case someone is living in it and then has to move and things like that. We intend to sell them at a break-even price.
Okay.
So the target number for us right now is about $250,000. So from a marketing perspective, we're not attempting to make these, we're not building a townhouse project here in the same vein that we, GDC, have built townhouse projects in Peekskill before, where there were valuable real estate, there were attractive places, they got high prices.
Yeah.
We are aware this particular site, is different than those. So the project was planned, and I must say, in a public-spirited manner. This is, we don't build 16-unit townhouse projects. But we were asked to do this, and the purposes are out of the ordinary for us. But we think they're wise. We're not going to make any money. We do have an interest in the neighborhood, obviously, because we own a big piece of property that we just finished talking about. So we're happy to do it. But the marketing is going to be different than anything we've marketed before. I think I'm going to be out getting these people mortgages, whereas in other places we put houses and townhouses and condominiums for sale, and people come and buy them, and then they get their own mortgage, and or they pay cash, or whatever they do. We're not worried about that aspect of it. Here, this is going to be primarily, in my opinion, the buyers who will want to live here are going to be first-time home buyers. We're going to have to for help as I go through this, because I'm going to have to deal with maybe sunny mayors of the public bodies that I'm not used to. I don't give a shit. On behalf of these buyers, but we also think that adding 16 households of owner occupants to the neighborhood who live there and who stay there will be a good thing. We think it'll look better than it does now. We'll certainly think it'll look better than it has at times in the past, so that no one takes my prior comment as a knock on the public art that thankfully has been installed, because a few years ago the lot was not maintained. It was simply overgrown, and didn't have any attempt at decoration and so forth. And now it certainly looks much better. But we think the addition of families and a obviously occupied, thriving set of homes would do it. And, this is not intended to be an affordable housing project. As it so happens, for those of us who understand that kind of stuff, which I have to, because we have to include affordable housing in many of our development. The $250,000 price is well within the affordable range for the affordable target in Westchester, which is in our case that two-bedroom townhouse, a family of four, making 80% of the adjusted median income, and not half, not 100, down to 80, is probably, when I did the math, depending on what kind of mortgage I can get these people, and what kind of taxes I can persuade the city's assessor to accept from these people, it's probably going to be affordable to people at 60% of the median income. But it's also basically, as the gist of your question is getting at, it's basically the market price over there.
Yeah, no, that was a great answer. I didn't know the history, and I certainly, I mean, two things can happen, right? They may site plan approval and maybe for whatever reason it's not a financially viable project, right? Or secondly, it gets constructed and never gets filled, right? Because again, having worked all over Westchester, and this product isn't existing anywhere in Westchester County, and I'm really optimistic because I think there's a great opportunity here, but I think the pricing is going to be key, and there's a glut of this exact product in the city of Peekskill now, particularly in the eastern end of the city, and the prices are far less. So again, we'll see what happens, and I'm very hopeful, but it's going to be a challenge.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's going to be a challenge.
So I have a couple questions just on that.
Are we still going to be, the bonus density is still granted for 2 units that will be priced lower?
No, not priced lower. That they will meet the county's affordable housing regulations. In terms of price, Mrs. Wells, all of them will meet